Yeah, good day. My name is William Mwanza. I'm Chairperson of the Finance and Investment Council of the Archdiocese of Lilongwe. I'm very honored today to join the Tiyende Limodzi program, which is the Archbishop of Lilongwe's program that goes into various aspects of the Archdiocese. From the Finance and Investment Council in the Archdiocese, we do support the Archbishop and the whole Archdiocese in terms of finance and investment related issues. And today, I just want to share a bit about what the Finance and Investment Council is doing in support of the Church's mission for evangelization within the Archdiocese, but also across the country of Malawi. Within our work program, we were, of course, appointed in 2023, and recently there's just been a reconstitution of the council. But when we were appointed, initially the council was only the Finance Council of the Archdiocese, but at the time of appointment, His Grace, the Archbishop, actually broadened the scope of the council to also include investment. And when we were actually starting on this particular journey of providing advisory and also hands-on support to the Archdiocese in these areas, we were charged by the Archbishop not only to look at the finances of the Archdiocese but also the investment. And there was a special reason why that was the case. As we know, the finances of the Archdiocese are made from different sources. Some of these sources initially have been, the missionaries when they came to Malawi and built churches around the country, around the Archdiocese. But there have also been, of course, some traditional partners that have been supporting us from outside countries through the different synods. We have, of course, been advised as a church and have agreed to be more financially self-sustaining. And through this, we've seen that over the years, there have been contributions, especially from parishioners, which have played a large part in the running of the parishes, the running of the Archdiocese, the running of the church. It quickly dawned upon us that the sources of financing for the Archdiocese have been quite challenged for a number of reasons. We know that within the parishes, it's mostly our offertory, our tithe, our masika, our first fruits that actually assist with the running of the parishes. Of course, there's also some fundraising efforts which go mostly into development work within the parishes. And for the Archdiocese, it has mostly been depending on remittances from parishes for its own operations, but also for its spreading of the gospel, but also carrying out its social mission as well. And so what we've seen, especially in the past few years, is that the economic situation in Malawi has been very challenging. And with that, we see that the ability for parishes, individuals to contribute to levels that the Archdiocese actually requires have been quite constrained based on economic challenges. We've also seen climatic shocks that have actually been affecting especially rural populations and our rural parishes, which mostly depend for their giving on what they harvest. And with the droughts, with the floods that we continue experiencing in this era of climate change, we note that these particular remittances from those rural parishes have also been quite challenged. And so there is a strong case for the Archdiocese to also make investments which will generate some returns and assist the Archdiocese on its mission of evangelization a social mission, but also the holistic development of the human being. And so we know that there are some investments that the Archdiocese has been running as a council, as we have been trying to assist. We have advised in terms of how we can take perhaps what's called a three-pronged strategy to our investments. And the way that we're defining this is firstly that we should turn around our fledgling businesses. So there are some businesses that have not been operating optimally or have not been generating as much profit as they can. So we want to see how these can actually be turned around so that they can be profit making. Some of them including Likuni Press, Mlare Farm, Namitete Joinery, etc. The second prong is for us as an Archdiocese to reinforce our profit-making businesses. So for these, we see Msamba Center, for example, it turns a profit, but what can we do to really enhance so that those profits are increased? And then again, Centenary Bank, which is also a topic that I would like to focus on in this particular program, for how Centenary Bank can lead to benefits, both in terms of returns that it makes for the Archdiocese, but also how those returns can also be spread out across the Archdiocese. And then the third prong is really for us to look at new investments, and also with some recent appointments that the Archbishop has made within the investment directorate of the Archdiocese. There are some new investments as well that are being explored, so that hopefully the Archdiocese can also make returns from these different investments. I would like to, of course, focus on Centenary Bank. It's a new investment that the Archdiocese has made. This year, it's clocking 3 years as a business here in Malawi. And sometimes, we do have questions in terms of how the church can actually go and own a bank. And I would like to talk a bit about, the business of banking, but also what actually led to Centenary Bank, finding its way into Malawi. As we know, Centenary Bank is a joint venture between the Archdiocese of Lilongwe and also Centenary Rural Group Uganda. Centenary Rural Group Uganda owns 51% of the shares, and the Archdiocese of Lilongwe owns 49% of the shares in the bank. The way that banking actually operates, for those of us that may not have a full picture, is that typically as we save our money with the banks, there is a bit of some interest that we gain. But typically the bank uses all the different deposits that it has to lend to different individuals, to lend to businesses, to lend even to government, and it's through this lending that the bank mostly makes its returns, but it also uses other sort of non-interest revenue streams to make its income, and at the end of the day, you would hope that a bank would make sufficient profits, and when it declares a dividend, then some of the benefits or the profits are then accruing to the shareholders. This is after the bank actually makes reinvestments to further strengthen the bank. So that's in a nutshell how banking operates. Now, for Centenary Bank, it's really a bank that focuses on financial inclusion. There are many banks that are out there, and we know that normally they would have their preferred customers to lend to. Some prefer to lend to government, some prefer to lend to big businesses because it's less risky to deal with those kind of clients. Very few banks would really lend very much to the lower cadres of society, especially because of the risks that also come with that. For Centenary Bank, when it started in Uganda, it really started as an engine for financial inclusion. That is to make sure that people that do not have access to banking services, especially those in hard to reach and rural areas, actually are included in the financial system, and so they can be reached either for them to open accounts, but also for them to access resources for their various endeavors, be it business, farming, etc. So Centenary in Uganda is actually what others call the farmers' bank. It really lends to as low as $26 per loan, to individual farmers for them to actually access inputs and make sure that their farming ventures are really thriving. And this is what is called the mission critical portfolio of Centenary Bank. The mission of the church is intrinsic within the mission of the bank, and that is really to serve the entire human person, including by providing them access to finance, which can help them meet their various needs and their various requirements. So coming to Malawi, it's the same thrust that that Centenary Bank has to really take forward financial inclusion in Malawi, and so that's one of the first reasons why the Archdiocese also made this venture. As we know, the church really is there to evangelize, and beyond that, it also wants to make sure that the whole human person, is actually served. And so the church runs schools so that people are educated. The church runs hospitals so that at least people can receive healing through these particular institutions. But investing into the bank is an extra step beyond education, beyond healing, to also make sure that financial resources are accessible to individuals, not only in the Archdiocese but across Malawi, and not only Catholic but also other people who can actually be served by these services, so that they are financially included. They have access to finances, both for their short-term needs, but also for their long-term growth as individuals, as families. And so this is why Centenary Bank has also come as a significant investment within the Archdiocese, really there to take forward financial inclusion, but also simultaneously bring returns to the Archdiocese. As we know, the banking industry is one of the few industries that is performing very well, and there are other banks that are making really high returns. When the Archdiocese took over Centenary Bank together with Centenary Rural Group Uganda, it was a loss-making entity at that particular point, but it has now been turned around, and it is now registering year on year more than 100% increase in its profits, and we believe that this will be the trajectory going into the future, and maybe in the coming years we should be able to see the bank at least returning some dividends to the Archdiocese, which can assist the Archdiocese use those resources to further take forward its mission. So thank you very much for your listening, especially today, where we've talked a bit about how the Finance and Investment Council is supporting the Archdiocese's mission, especially in the finance and investment areas. And we believe that we will be coming back to expand a bit more about some of these investment areas, and also expand a bit more about how, as individuals within the Archdiocese, as parishioners, as parishes, we are also participating in the investment that is Centenary Bank. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.